We will either find a way or make one. Hannibal Barca. My friends, I hope that is your attitude when it comes to mastering the charts. Why? Because, of course, it is all about your steadfastness and your commitment. If you will just stick with this, all we ask is 10 to 15 minutes each and every day. You can do it. Don't worry about how long it takes, because once you master the charts, you'll make up for all the time you ever spent. Let's jump into these charts. Things are a little mixed today. Stocks are mixed. The S&P's up, the NASDAQ 100 down, bonds are down, gold and Bitcoin are up. Let's jump first into the S&P 500. Ended with an up week, up for the day 0.14%. Not much going on there. You can see where things are sliding along sideways. But of course, we see the real up movement was Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, and Thursday morning. And of course, it ended up with a nice up week. We had that turnaround. We had the interim low with nice volume, not quite average volume with a green spinning top when this took off. Prices above the 2-day on the weekly trend line, or I guess on the weekly trend line on the 2-day chart. We can see the 2-day candles above that weekly trend line, and the half day is above. We can see throughout the day really a sideways slide on Friday. Now, the NASDAQ is down, but just barely 0.05% for the day. We can see where that down movement came in the afternoon. And again, like the S&P, Wednesday morning, afternoon, Thursday morning, we saw things moving up quite nicely. This turnover was better than the S&P because we had above average volume on the interim low. Nice green spinning top with average volume on the turnaround. And of course, a nice climb up. We are long the NASDAQ 100. Let's look at the 20-year government bonds. They were our biggest downer for the day, down 0.67%. You can see where things dropped in the morning and afternoon. And of course, like stocks, Wednesday morning, afternoon, and Thursday morning is where the up move came during the week, and really burning that off since then. Didn't have any clean kind of crossover. We did have below average volume for the interim low. We had a doji, not a green spinning top with higher than average volume, where things then turned around and started moving up, but not clean, not the way we like to do it. And again, wait for the perfect setup. There's nothing that requires you to trade when you don't have things going in a clear and discernible correction. Both price movement matched by what? Volume. Yes, volume is the key to telling you what's actually happening in the marketplace when you team it up with price movement. We've got great trainings on that. And in fact, in the new book, that is going to be covered. And the first people who are going to get the new book are our Patreon members. It's just a free benefit. Now, let's move on to gold. What is gold up to? Bounding up 1.65% for the day alone. Now, we saw where gold hit its most recent peak back on the 8th, then lost a lot that following week. That was the week beginning the 8th of April, sorry. And then that next week, it really dropped quite a bit. Then for the following 2 weeks, dropped even more with a red spinning top starting on April the 29th. And again, decent volume all of those weeks. Then things dropped down last week below average volume. This week, just at average volume, but moving up. Now, are things going to drift up again this week to about where they were? Look at the high back on the week beginning the 8th of April. The high was 225.09. This week, 223.85. So it's got a little bit higher that it could go. Is that where things are going to stop? Or are we going to have things pound through that prior level and shoot up as gold did when it made this most recent climb? So we'll see as things continue to move along. What we will do is go ahead, and again, this is not super helpful. Why? Because our trend line, it's not flat, but it sure isn't peaking up super strong. But again, now that we have 2 green candles, we'll go ahead and attach that. Now, lastly, We will look at Bitcoin up for the day 2.93%. We do have a green spinning top. We do have going into the, well, this is now completed, two okay up candles on the 2-day. We have a little green, almost doji there for the Friday the 10th and Monday the 13th. And then, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as we saw the 2-day chart after it pushed through that down weekly trend line. We do have a green spinning top. You know, we don't have anything. We'll go to the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin. I'll show you. Don't have anything to write home about regarding volume. And if you look at the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart, shows you that as far as, you know, where things are drawn on the trend line, we are trying to push through it. But again, nothing super, super strong. Different as we look at the Bitcoin chart for the Bitcoin ETF. So again, that is stronger in its up move, and we will keep an eye on things. We don't have any volume to help us make that call. All we have truly is the candlestick. So we will see as this next week takes off whether Bitcoin is going to continue to climb. In fact, you can watch it, over the weekend with BTC USD. That's 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart, Bitstamp, and you can watch it over the weekend to see what Bitcoin does as it is traded 24/7. That is where we are, my friends. Thank you so much for being with us. We always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. And by the way, please remember that we do release Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies on Fridays. It will be available for you to watch over the weekend. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.